DBSCG things.
What is up, Yuhp gang? It's your boy Taxon and welcome back to Yuhp DBSCG things. Today I got another exciting video for you guys. This is going to be a discussion on what could be possibly on next set ban list. But before we go over this discussion, guys, I do want to say if you want any custom mats and or sleeves, absolutely go check out Pro Mats, guys, the best place to go get your card needs. Link will be in the description below for you guys to go check them out. And also on the screen now, you can see that they're doing a monthly tournament held at the second weekend of every single month. Great pricing here. You can get Pro Mat mats, you can get TCG metal leaders. Absolutely check the link in the description below to go join the Discord and go check out this, get more information on this. And with that being said, guys, if you enjoyed this discussion today or my content in general, absolutely consider hitting those like buttons, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And with that being said, guys, let me fix this camera up, put a template on this boy, and let's get over what I think could be on this list. Alrighty, you guys, so template is up. Now let's go ahead and dive into this ban list. Before we get into this ban list, though, we do got to take a second to really address the most competitive decks right now, and basically the big three, all the things that we could find in the big three decks that could possibly get hit to really neutralize them to make other decks more playable. Now, guys, before I get into this list, I do want to say this is just my opinion. This isn't anything that Bandai's for sure going to do. This isn't anything that I think that you want to happen. This is just my opinion. So let's dive right into it, guys. The big three that I'm going to be talking about today being Icarus, Cell Surge, and Gogeta Xeno. So diving head first into Gogeta Xeno. First thing I want to say is there's really not too much, in my opinion, that we can do to this leader to really knock it down a peg without really killing it. So we're going to just try to take a couple pokes at things that we could do to this leader without really killing it completely. So first things first, we're going to talk about the leader effect. Obviously, the big thing that stands out is that it's warping 5 from the top of the deck every single turn in comparison to other black leaders that normally burst 3. I know it's not a warp effect, but they bursting 3 to 5 off the top of your deck and just adding to the consistency of the things that you need to see in your warp every single turn. That's really, really huge in my opinion. So maybe dropping that from 5 to 3 with an errata will definitely make this leader a little bit more on par with these other black leaders. And another big thing in my opinion that we could do to this deck in general is the thwarting promo. Now this card is great and I think it was phenomenal for the deck, but I do think that a turn 1 play for it is a little much. I think that more so you should be going towards a different fusion, like your blocker play. I don't think that the double striker should be coming out turn 1. So maybe putting an errata tag on it so that it has like a little thing next to the union fusion that you can only do it if you have 2 or more energy. Possibly just trying to slow that down a little bit. I think other than that, there's really not much you can do to this leader to really slow it down without killing it. So, I mean, you can either put 2 energy tag instead of 1 energy on thwarting, or you can just put a tag next to it that says you can't play it unless you're at 2 or more energy. Another thing is thwarting kind of needs to be mono black leader locked in my opinion. It's not huge for this Gogeta deck, but just in general, the thwarting not being locked to the leader and just being able to be put wherever it needs to go, it just seems a little meh. But other than that, yeah, Gogeta seems fine to me, guys. Let me know what you guys think about it. Yep, so first things first, let's wrap up what I was talking about here, guys. Gogeta Xeno, not much in my opinion, like I said, that can happen to it, but the big things that I think could happen to it is a errata on the leader effect, bringing it from a 5 to a 3, and another big thing is making thwarting come out on turn 2 instead of turn 1. So like I said, an errata to where he's a turn 2 play, like saying that you can't play him without 2 or more energy, or just making him a 2-cost card in general. So now we're going to dive into Cell Surge, a harder topic to talk about because Cell Surge being the boogeyman of the format, no one really likes to see him. In a best of 1, no one's actually strapped with the Deborah, so they always get clapped by Cell Surge. He is kind of hard to talk about without killing him. Now that is something we could talk about. We could absolutely just try to ban him from a best of 1 situation in general so that you just can't play him at a local that's best of 1 unless you are playing a best of 3 local, and you absolutely will have your sideboard and your Deborahs on you if someone tries to play Cell Surge. So that's the first thing that we could do, is just take him from best of 1 and best of 3 and just kind of do what we try to do with the Gohan leader, the reboot Gohan leader. Just put him from any format just to best of 3, so that anyone that's actually versing a Cell Surge has an opportunity to have those in their sideboard so that they can go into game 2 with a better chance of winning. A big thing in my opinion about Cell Surge that makes him busted is Ribran and the Unison. Now, big thing about the Unison, guys, let's go ahead and talk about the Unison real quick. It comes out for 20k 3 energy, guys. It's a 20k. which means that most cards in this game are going to have to invest a card from hand in order to actually take a marker off this card. This card also has a +2 ability, guys. So it comes out for 3 and goes up to 5 on 1 turn, which means that unless you have 5 damage worth of guys on field already, you are absolutely basically not going to be able to touch this guy on the turn that he gets played. Especially if it's the Awakening turn 2 and they just awaken and they have Bupo in hand or something, you're just not going to be able to touch the Unison, and he's going to stick there for game. And his +2 effect is going to make you discard a card, and then he's going to discard a Deborah, knock a marker off, and make you discard another card. He's going to tap 2, do Ribrand, make you discard 2 more. So the big thing about this is that that card alone is generating so much more advantage to the hand destruction path that Cell Surge is taking than it absolutely needs. Now, in my opinion, the only things that we could do to this Unison that could knock it down a peg is taking off that auto so that it's not making you discard 2 cards 2 cards from your hand a turn with the Deborah. A big thing too, we could also make it towards a +1 instead of a +2 because it is a 20k. It is already very hard to kill. So bringing that +2 to a +1, in my opinion, could also slow it down a little bit so that aggressive decks have a little bit more of a chance to kill it and just get it out of the way and keep going. So big thing here, guys. Now we're going to talk about Ribrand. Now Ribrand's hard to talk about and address without actually just straight up banning the card. Only thing we could really do to this card are a few things. One, we could errata it to mono green leaders only, so that when you're versing Cell Surge, you just don't have to deal with Ribrand in general, but it's still going to be in the format in other mono green decks, so you'd always have to worry about it, just not against Cell Surge. Another big thing is we can make a counterpart to the Eliminator. If you don't know what I mean by that, so we have Saiyan Instincts, which is a tap 2, draw 2, and then we have Ribrand, which is a tap 2, make your opponent discard 2, and then we have Bardock the Eliminator, which is a tap 1, draw 1, and then we don't have a card that is the polar opposite to it like we would have Ribrand to Saiyan Instincts. So the Eliminator, we could have an Eliminator discarded card, like a tap 1 discard card, so that if Ribrand did get leader locked, we could still have the tap 1 discard one for Cell. Not something that I 100% think is going to happen, nor do I even know is going to happen. This is just my idea, something I thought about that would be cool, a good way to get rid of Ribrand out of Cell Surge, but also keep some type of hand destruction in it. Another big thing is that Ribrand could absolutely get limited to 1. Now this card will go down in value a lot if it's limited to 1, which is huge. It's not going to be as good. It'll still be a great pitch target for Dormant. It won't be searchable in any green decks besides Cell Surge if you're using your top 5. Or unless you're playing a U2, you could be playing a U2 with some type of searcher or something. But most of the time, it's just going to be a card that you're going to draw into and just try to use right away if it's out of 1 of. But these are just my opinions, guys. Let me know what you guys think about them. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and move on to Icarus. When we're discussing Icarus, we got to talk about what he does best and what needs to get hit on him. And obviously, the first things first about this leader is that this leader himself, just the leader, nothing in the deck in general, the leader itself generates such a card advantage that it's just almost too hard of a wall to break through. Now, first things first is I want to talk about my opinion on a possible Awakening ability change. Now, he is a draw 2. He could definitely be switched to a stand 2 in my opinion, because when you do awaken on this leader, you do get to rip 1 life and draw a card. And then when you awaken, you'll draw 2 cards, and then you'll combo card, and then you'll draw a card. And then you'll play a card from your drop area and draw a card. And then you'll combo with that card. The moment you pass turn and you get a combo phase, you're going to combo with that card and draw another card. So that's six cards total on your Awakening turn. Not including that one of them is going to be coming basically once you pass. So you get 6 total cards. Now if we knock that down from a draw 2 to a stand 2, you'll be at total of 4, but 3 on your turn. Which is huge, because not only that, but you're going to be able to continuously be able to keep drawing anyways. So I think that'd be fair in my opinion anyways. And also you'll have energy up so that if you are like faring against hand destruction or something, let's say you got your Deborah in hand, you'll definitely have your energy up to be able to tap and play a Deborah. You'll also have 2 energy up to be able to go into your Slug Chain after Awakening. So in my opinion, there's a couple options there. I think it's pretty good, and it'll help change the playstyle of the deck in general. If that's not the go-to, I do have a couple more ideas. Like a big thing in my opinion, we could make the activate battle once per turn. Not per turn, but like on certain turn. Like it could be like instead of when, like let's say it's worded right now. We already know how it's worded right now. When a monster's in a combo area, you can activate battle and draw a card. But what if it said, if it's your turn and you have a monster in your combo area, you can draw a card. This will take away from being able to really generate that card advantage, because you're just recycling this one card from the drop area. You're drawing a card when you recycle it anyways, and you're going to combo it out, draw a card. You're going to just do this over and over on your and your opponent's turn and be able to just cycle such a hand advantage. So I think maybe locking that to a certain player's turn, and this could either be an offensive thing or a defensive thing. In my opinion, it really wouldn't matter too much, but yeah, this definitely is something that we could do to really slow down the draw power on Icarus. Another thing that we could really take into mind is that we could actually take the activate main from what it says right now to draw a card and then play a skillless from your drop area. You could say, post errata, play a skillless, and then if you do, draw a card. This is another way that could easily slow down the draw power on this deck, because a big thing with this deck is that they don't actually always have that card to combo with and put into their drop area. So let's say they're digging for it, they won't be able to actually use that draw effect until they have it into the drop area. So that's another way to easily slow down some of the draw power in that deck. Now, before I get going on this, I do want to say that I don't think that that leader needs all three of the things I just said. Just those are one options for all the things that generate that card a lot of hand power. So those are just my opinions, guys. Like I said, guys, few things I went over today: Gogeta Xeno leader, possible errata from 5 to 3, thwarting, making him a turn 2 play, Cell Surge, taking Ribran in some sort of way like an errata, lock him to green. Also hitting that unison from a +2 to a +1, or taking that auto away so he's not making you discard 2 cards a turn. And then also Icarus doing anything in the possible to take away some of that draw power, like hitting the awakening ability somehow, in either one of the backside effects, the activate battle or the activate main, like I said. But with that being said, guys, these are just my opinions. Let me know yours in the comments below. I do want to know what you guys think is going to be on this ban list coming up. And then also, guys, I do want to say, if you like today's discussion or my content in general, absolutely consider smashing that like, comment, and subscribe, guys. Hit the notification bell so you're notified every single time I upload a video. And with that being said, guys, we will see you guys next week.